Inside the Niger Delta.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. Worried about the backwardness of the Niger Delta region, despite huge revenues accruing to the coffers of states under the statutory 13% derivation funds, a group known as the Host Communities of Nigeria Producing Oil and Gas is currently making moves to channel the funds directly to the communities. This follows the general perception that the funds under the custody of state governors have not been managed to the benefit of the region. This special report correspondent Tekena Amifuri takes a look at how the 13% derivation fund can be managed to benefit communities in the Niger Delta.
The 1999 Constitution, as amended, provides in Section 162, subsection 2, that 13% derivation be given to host communities. The upward review of revenue allocation formula based on the principle of derivation was in compliance with the recommendation of the 1995 Constitutional Conference that 13% of revenues accruing to the Federation account be set aside to assist oil-producing communities tackle infrastructural decay and environmental degradation. As data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveals, oil-producing states received about 7 trillion naira as payment under the 13% derivation principle between 1999 and 2016.
The 13% derivation has not translated in the lives of the community, oil-bearing community. The 13% derivation is just extra money for governors to squander for their personal aggrandizement.
Look at it. Recently, I received the debt servicing index for the nation. The Niger Delta states are only, apart from Lagos, the only other part of the country. Is it not ironical that the more we get, the more we owe? Look at the flamboyance of the political elite of the Niger Delta. They are feeding fat on our resources, including the 13% derivation.
The disbursement of the 13% derivation funds directly to the state government has been a subject of controversy over the years, with many interest groups probing into the application of the funds. The Host Communities of Nigeria Producing Oil and Gas is particularly concerned about the legality of paying such funds into the account of state governments. This practice is said to be in contravention of Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution, which provides that the 13% derivation funds be paid directly to the oil-producing communities. Redirecting the channel of disbursement would require a template to effectively manage the oil derivation fund, the feasibility of which several groups in the region are beginning to consider.
This should be given to communities so that the money one person owns, the community will own such money and also invest such money in education, in agriculture, and healthcare. By so doing, there will be peace in the region.
Besides making the statutory 13% derivation fund available to Nigeria's oil-producing states, the federal government has established the Niger Delta Development Commission and the Ministry of Niger Delta to intervene in the region's crisis of underdevelopment. However, all such efforts are considered inadequate by those clamoring for the operation of fiscal federalism to enable the oil-producing states have control over their resources.
Well, there are some who seem to argue that we should be grateful because now we have 13% derivation. My answer to that is very simple. You cannot steal my car and offer me a ride in the boot and expect me to be grateful. That is what it amounts to. Fiscal federalism is what we need.
When they say that the money that is coming to the Niger Delta is not properly utilized, I'm not saying it's not true. I am accepting that as a Niger Delta person. That is a problem we, the Niger Delta people, have to fix. Now, that is not a problem somebody else should continue to take 87% and be telling us to be fixing the issue of 13. The 13% is not enough for the development of the Niger Delta.
Life in the Niger Delta is rough and tough. Widespread poverty is on account of joblessness, and the region's ever-declining Human Development Index is further compounded by limited access to basic social services like healthcare and education. This is a scenario that breeds insecurity in a region otherwise endowed with vast natural resources outside crude oil and gas. While the argument for increased funding of development initiatives in the Niger Delta may not be out of place, the onus is on the federal government to reinvent its mechanism for transparency and accountability in the management of the people's commonwealth in Nigeria's Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta.